This first topic is one that is kind of like a special request in a way, because a couple of people have reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, T is always talking about this show called Raised by Wolves." Okay, and you put it out there in the ether for everybody to talk about, but they say, "Hey, man, this guy has never really talked about it other than just saying, oh, it's a great show." So that's going to be our first topic of the day. There it is, man. Raised by Wolves, and I'll be honest with you, man. Like I saw the first couple of episodes of Raised by Wolves, and I just wasn't, not to say that it was a bad show because it looks like a pretty decent show, but I just wasn't blown away. It wasn't captured. It was like, all right, it looks cool. But then this particular article, I was doing some research just to kind of say, okay, what can we talk about it with? And then this article pops in. And this headline, I haven't read anything other than just this headline. And it's like, okay, I'm intrigued now. I'm intrigued. It says, Raised by Wolves, Campion and Murder Bot Brill are the weirdest, cutest couple on HBO Max. Now, I don't want you to give any spoilers, T. We're going to keep this really kind of high level, but Murderbot? Okay, I need to know about this show. What makes it good?
Oh, hey, man. Look, this is a very interesting because it's sort of the Crusades in outer space, which is a great premise. They've got this culture called the Mithraics versus the Atheists. It's just a great dynamic. It's interesting to see the twist they put on this. There's irony in the story. It's a little slow in the beginning, but the more you follow, the more you get entrenched. There's great character development in this. It's a TV show, so there is that moment where you're like, well, wait a minute, what happened to the shiny light over there? But it's a great movie. I mean, this comes from Ridley Scott. You know what I mean? It's based on the premise sort of aliens, but an elseworld story, sort of with the aliens premise. Robots are ultimately, they're the bad guys. You know what I mean? They're supposed to watch over you, but they don't have their best intentions. And you're watching this thing, and each week it gets better and better and better with the character development, just with the consistency of the acting, which is great. You've got a lot of characters in there that are just, man, they just cannot be stopped, man. And the more and more you have to hang in there with it. First few episodes are rough because you're like, what is going on? But the more and more you get into it, the more and more you become fascinated by the fact that, wait a minute, this is a war this is an endless war. An endless war. Trust me, take your time with season 1, take your time with season 2. The season finale is coming on next week, and I am pumped. This is a great story. Sure, like I said, it's an hour-long show, 42 minutes. It's got to be filled in with filler. Some parts of it aren't as good as you would think. But if you could just stick on there and just say, wait a minute here. I see the direction they're going, and I'm intrigued in this. This is story. What are we always talking about, D? We're always talking about story, how it's never. This thing has legs. You just have to make sure that you put your seatbelt on and you ride.
I like that. I like that idea of just strap in. And that's the thing. It seems like it's a journey. It's not like a quick trip around the store to the store around the corner. It seems like they're taking you on a journey. And that's definitely the feeling that I got from watching those first few episodes. Like, okay, they're taking us on a long trip. I need to make sure that I'm ready and strapped in for that. Now, I want to ask you this question, being somebody that's watched this show from the beginning, and you're very excited about it. You talk about it to me all the time, just in conversation. We'll be talking about something, and then Raised by Wolves will come up, the mother and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, okay, T, I get it. I'm just not into it. But now, like I said, after reading this particular headline, I don't want to know anymore. I want to go and dig into it just by hearing those words, Murderbot. But why do you think that, in comparison to other HBO shows, like, we see Game of Thrones, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, even like Westworld, got a lot more traction from the general audience than this show? Because I don't really hear a lot about this show. It took me a while just to kind of go through and find this article. So why do you think this show isn't getting that? Go ahead.
Because of the premise. That's a great question, Derek. Hey, it's because of the premise that I shared with you. It's the Crusades in outer space, right? And because that premise is there, it's a touchy subject, right? But what's the irony about this is this show has got some SJW, some subtlety to it. It's got everything in it except for one thing, and I won't spoil it for you. And when you watch it, you'll see. You'll see that this particular thing is missing from this movie. But, sorry, not movie, but show. It's only missing one thing that is popular, is a popular occurrence in today's television shows. So that's probably why it's not as big as it could be, because it would kind of diminish the arc of the story, which is the Crusades, right? So it's the side of the righteous and the front side of the logical, fighting against each other in outer space with freaking robots that are amazing. You know what I mean? So it's about consistency and delivering, and I think the public sometimes never knows that. What happened in the 80s? Plenty of good movies that didn't do well because what? The economy wasn't there. People just say, hey, last thing we're all thinking about is movies. But we got all kinds of gems. In times like this, we always get the best of movies, and the studios go all in for that. This is something that I'm really proud of HBO going in, and I strongly suggest this to anyone who likes story.
Okay. All right, cool. So, yeah, that was again just I got excited, all the stuff that you've been telling me for, the last couple of years about this show. I couldn't get excited about it. I tried watching it, but then I'm like, wait a minute, there's stuff like this in there. Okay, I am down. I am in. I can't wait to check it out. So, I'm probably going to, stream a couple of episodes tonight just to see if I can get caught back up into it, and then just kind of go from there. What's that?
So it's not really a spoiler to watch because it happens in season 1 at this point. But it makes it more interesting. There is a character in here that is a small boy that is growing up.
Okay.
His parents get taken over by two people who are imposters who make themselves look like this kid's parents. The kid finds out and still calls his mom and dad.
Interesting.
It's just interesting. You know what I mean? And he is a believer.
Okay, wait, hold up. No more spoilers, man. You spoiled. I want to discover it. You got to discover it. You got to see it. I want to see it play out. All right, but folks, what do you think about this?
Passionate about it.
I can tell, man. You've been on me. You have been on me about this, but I want to know what the people think about this particular show. Have you watched Raised by Wolves? T is super duper high on this show. He absolutely loves it. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to try to see if, the first couple of episodes that didn't really pull me in, maybe episode 4 and 5 might get me to bite in on this. So jump down. Let me know what you think about Raised by Wolves, if you've seen it, or what do you think if we can, what do you think of this show? And is this something that people should jump into? All right, T, let's move on.